This is a juicy question. Financially reliant on another man. That's how I deal with it. Nah, not for me. I think I got a bit choked then, a bit weird, whatever. We all know I'm an emotional girl now. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sasha and I chat shit for a living. And if you're not new here, you already know that and you've tuned in to chat some shit together. I'm gonna do a bit of a different video today. Let me just move you up a little bit. Excuse the state of all of it, to be honest, darling. So unsure what's going on with my hair. Because I've reached my fucking limit. Right, I am feeling so mega burnt out and so at capacity and knackered and all of the above that I have decided to take next week off work, which is not something I do lightly because I'm so fortunate with my job and like, why would you need a day off work? I wonder if I put you there, if that's better. I feel like that's better, isn't it? Yeah, it's better. I definitely feel like I am at fucking breaking point. I'm not. I actually haven't had a holiday since last summer. And by holiday, I mean break. Even that I vlogged, even that I contented. And sometimes in this job, no matter how amazing it is and wonderful and all of the above, you do just need a big fat five to reset, realign, and like remove yourself from this crazy world in which social media dominates. So that's what I'm doing next week. However, I didn't want to let anyone down by not doing a video. I know I've had a couple of weeks like that in the past few months anyway, and hence, you know, that's probably why I'm feeling how I'm feeling. Did a question box on Instagram. We have some questions. Rather than like sit down and chat or do my makeup and chat, we're gonna like tidy the kitchen and make a big fat bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. And part of my headspace with where I am with my job and creating content is that I overcomplicate stuff. I just thought, let's try this. Let's see what it's like. Let's see if you like it, yada, yada, yada. So that's that basically. I'm just gonna make myself a quick iced coffee because your girl needs some fuel. But I thought whilst I'm making my coffee, going about my business, we'll do some questions as well. You've asked some good ones. Just to manage your expectations here, somebody has asked, are you still using GLP-1? Also, you are the only thing I watch on YouTube. I love it. Lovely, thank you so much for watching me, but I'm unsure if you've seen the last video because not only do I touch on my GLP-1 journey to date in the previous video, I have a whole video dedicated to that, my outlook on it, my situation with it, and I've made it very clear that the boundaries I have in place for taking this medication is I will share with you what I share and I won't share anything else outside of that. So I'm not going to be answering any GLP-1 questions in this vlog, but there is an abundance of content on YouTube that you can go and knock yourselves out with. How do you handle the financial gap with your partner if there is one? This is a juicy question. Funnily enough, DB and I spoke about that this morning, and it's something we speak about often. For background, I was in a relationship for 9 years with somebody, and I was married for 8 months before I left that relationship. One very positive thing about that relationship was not only the financial stability that we'd built together, but the financial stability that he brought to the table before we'd even started dating. He works in finance, so always had a very stable, well-paid job. Like, call a spade a spade. If you say finance is going to be well-paid, do you know what I mean? The lifestyle that we lived and shared together was that of like extreme comfort and some, I would say. Like, for the age that I was, yeah, I can't really complain about that setup. When I left that marriage, we split the profit of the house 50-50. I learned a lot, I think, is the best way to describe it. And if there's one thing I have learnt, this is going to be a bit of a long-winded story. I've started with a long one. I built my own financial status within that relationship, within my own right. However, I'd be lying if I said that his stability and the situation we were in financially together didn't facilitate that, because it definitely did. If you're in a partnership and you have someone consistently bringing in enough to cover baseline, you're covered in a way, right? Because anything you make on top of that is yours, and yours to share, yours to do what you want with, blah, blah, blah. And that's the situation we were in. When I met him, I was 22. I had credit card debt and nothing major, but I did have credit card debt, and was, I would say, earning quite little. I was a self-employed nail technician and makeup artist at the time. I was just building up my bridal business, so I'd only just sort of started that self-employed life, and I would say that, yeah, I was financially like on baseline. Over the years, obviously, my career exploding into social media, filter drop, everything that came with that meant that my career went on a trajectory where the financial status changed and shifted. So come the end of our relationship, I was earning really good money. Not only was I earning really good money, we still had that baseline of like our dual income being great. So that's like a bit of background on where I was, if that makes sense. And then now I'm in a relationship with DB. Obviously you guys know him. When I met him, he was singing in a band at university, and I would say in a different financial situation. The one thing that is so interesting to me in the whole sort of like setup of everything that's happened in my life is that the powers that be sent me in my lifetime two men with the exact same age, the exact same name, raised on different universes, planets, galaxies, whatever you want to call it. There's not a single similarity between them. I definitely don't want to sit here and like explain or exploit different personal parts of information, because that's just not my vibe. But the situation is now, regardless of any partner I'm with and any situation I'm in, coming away from that relationship and that marriage, the one thing I vowed to myself is that I would never, ever allow myself to be financially reliant on another man ever again. So if me and DB stay together, if he ends up earning millions one day, great, fantastic. But the day that it could go and be taken away from me, I have to know that I will be okay on my own regardless. That's a perfect fucking pour. To answer the question of how do we manage the pay gap and how does it work, at this moment in time, I would say it's pretty unbalanced, but it's unbalanced in like the terms of finances, not in terms of, I talk about finance in a way, like for me, currency comes in a lot of ways. Like you can have emotional currency, you can have sexual currency, you can have financial currency. There are so many things to me that build up financial status. So obviously now, I'm in a situation where I'm with someone who's just graduated. DB's working part-time at the moment. He was working part-time to get through uni, but has kept that situation going until after Les Mis. So as it stands, we have the stability of his part-time job, and I have what I bring to the table, and we make it work. DB helps me so much with my job. He helps me so much with filming. He's helped me emotionally, and he's like added to my life in a way that I never even imagined possible. And he's taught me things about love and emotions and all of those things that, again, I just never thought possible and had never been shown before, like in my whole entire life. That as it stands at the moment, I'm totally okay with the balance of our financial gap. That being said, we've definitely started to have conversations of late where like, how long will that be for? When are we gonna wanna change it? Blah, blah, blah. And I think with like everything taken into consideration, neither of us can ask for much more than having those conversations constantly and being in that constant communication about like that difficult subject. What I will say though is DB is very much the sort of person that if he'll always make it work. That's one thing I love about him. And he's very generous. He's not tight at all. He's very, his money is his money for necessities. And then I'm pretty sure that he would choose to, well, he does, like he chooses to give me and our relationship lots too. Does that make sense? And I always say, we joke about it. We're like, there is a reason this man was never given cash growing up, was never given cash during his addiction, like was never given cash during this time in his life where he was rebuilding himself. Like we always say that, he says, if he'd have come into money or earned a certain amount, he would have been dead by now. And similar to me, like when I met my ex-partner, I was also in a really bad headspace of like money and finances. I grew so much and learned so much whilst being with him, but I learned the most, gone through the mill of learnings since leaving him. And that's something like I will take with me forever. And I'm obviously like really grateful for that. Just making me coffee, all right? So I'm pouring my shot in. There we go. Let me pour the water on top. And it's funny as well because both of us are adamant on living life a certain way, but also a way in which happiness comes first. I'm glad that we're aligned on that. And also excited for how our future pans out because, you know, if DB was to come into money now or to end up earning an obscene amount of money, like it's really exciting as to how that would affect our relationship because he is so generous and he loves treating people he loves and things like that. So basically the longest story cut short is I'm totally fine with it as it stands. I'm grateful that we are in constant communication about how that looks for both of us going forward. Just making a little cold foam. You guys have seen me make this coffee 10,000 million times, so I figured that it wasn't the day for a tutorial, but it's always a day to admire the sexy pour. Taste test and the stir. So if you are new here, in the shot, I put brown sugar, honey, cinnamon. Oh, I forgot my little bit of sea salt. I'm gonna put a bit of sea salt in there. And then in the milk topper is milk, double cream, cinnamon. Oh, that is so good today. So good. You're amazing. Honestly, fuck Starbucks. No question, but just wanted to tell you how amazing and fabulous you are looking. What a lovely thing to say, thank you. What makes you happiest in life right now? Truthfully, it's being at home. Being at home makes me so happy. And it's something that I am kind of a bit aware of at the moment when trying to navigate all of these feelings around my career and what I want out of life and all of the things I want to achieve. And yeah, because being at home just makes me so happy. And it's being at home in every form. So being at home when someone's coming over for dinner, being at home, being able to cook a meal for someone and make them a coffee or sit outside on the decking and have a chat and a catch up. Being at home in every form is my favourite thing to do. You know, sharing this home with DB and the dogs and the laughter that just constantly fills it. I just don't think there's anything that makes me as happy as that. But that's right now. And I have moments of like shooting happiness in between. So yeah. Okay, just quickly, I thought I'd show you what we got from Sainsbury's. We just went to grab a couple of bits because I'm gonna make a bacon lettuce tomato sandwich for our lunch, and then we're gonna have chicken Caesar salad for dinner. So we've got some raspberries and blueberries for neither of those things, but we needed. Bought some dishwasher rinse aid, not for either dinner or lunch, but we needed. Got some romaine lettuce. This is going to be for the salad tonight. Got myself some organic eggs. I'm really funny about eggs. I'd rather get them from the farm shop, but we couldn't be asked to drive there today. Golden kiwis. I'm obsessed with them. You can eat the skin. They're so good for you. Bacon, obviously, for the sandwiches. Some Greek yogurt. DB got some normal eggs. I say normal. Should be an egg shamer. Mayo. 2 bars of dark chocolate because I want to make some of those. I want to make some more of those dates with the peanut butter, sea salt on top. Garlic bulb. We bought some acai packets because this is so good for you, and we had our first acai bowl a few weeks ago in Bristol, probably a few months ago now, and it's just really, really good for you. It's like a specific berry. I actually thought it was just a frozen smoothie with toppings on, but it's not. Ingredients: acai puree, 99%. I don't know if that's good or not, but anyway, we can make some acai bowls. That's everything we got from the supermarket. Got to do the washing up, darling. How to navigate friendship shifts, not breakups, as you grow and age in your 30s. Coming from someone who, I've actually had quite a lot of friendship breakups, and it's something I spent a long time feeling quite ashamed of, as if like there was something wrong with me for having gone through that. DB spoke to me about this the other day, and he is obviously like the wisest man that ever lived. So it's a shame that you're not getting his answer on this. But he said to me that there's only ever a reason why a relationship or a friendship or and relationship in the sense of it could be a family member or it could be your romantic relationship or a marriage or whatever. There's only ever like one reason that it comes back to as to why that friendship or relationship breaks off. And it is simply you either grow together or you grow apart. And if you look at your life and you are the sort of person that consistently puts in the work to be a better person, to look back on your actions and question yourself and think about how you could have handled situations differently, how you could treat people differently, like all of those sorts of things. If you are the sort of person who does that and still finds yourself in a situation where you're losing friends, or I don't even want to say losing, where you're breaking off situations with friendships or finding yourself move away from certain people in your life, that is the reason. The reason is because you're growing in different trajectories of life. When I look at the friendships that are no longer in my life, I think about how would they fit now? Like, what would we talk about? What would we do? How would we spend our time together? Honestly, like, I don't know if they would now fit in the life that I have now, and that they would fit in the friendship capacity with the person I am now. And that is okay. And I think one of the biggest problems with this is that we need to remove the shame around that, because it's just so normal. Think about it in a relationship term, like in a romantic relationship term. When people break up, or when people get divorced, you're very rarely confronted with this, but why? Like, normally the reasons are clear as to why the relationship broke off, so therefore it shouldn't be as big a deal, if not any different, as to why a friendship breaks off. That's kind of what I would say. What I will say is the heartbreak of losing a friend, in my opinion, is sometimes worse than a romantic relationship, because you have friends that, like, you could have been friends with that person for 10 plus years, whereas the relationship could have been 5 years or 2 years, and the friendship bond that you may have had with that person can easily surpass certain relationships that you have throughout your life. So yeah, be kind to yourself and just like constantly remind yourself and like think about the reasons why that friendship broke off. If it's simply that you outgrew each other and have different morals and different ways of handling stuff, then you're better off without them, because you won't be able to continue on the trajectory of your life if somebody else is that close to you, like bringing you down or dragging you down type thing. Navigating moving to another city, area of the UK after so long living in another place. This is like, I guess it depends on the situation, because if you're, say, single and doing all of that, then there are different things I'd recommend to if you're in a relationship or moving with like a friend or a flatmate or something like that. Try and just focus on like how exciting that is, and I don't know what the reasons are as to why you might be moving. Is it because of a job, or is it because you fancy a change or whatever? I don't know. There are so many exciting things about moving to a new place. The growth that happened for me doing exactly that has just been astronomical, darling. It's been big and I've loved it. And moving to Wales has been the best thing I've ever done. I love the area. I've loved finding the new things that I go to and places I visit and supermarkets I shop at. Like, all of that part of it is really exciting. I think making friends in your 30s is maybe slightly more difficult, but I think one thing that's not spoken about with that is they're normally more fruitful relationships. Yeah, try and just focus on the excitement of what that brings to you. But yeah, overall, I understand it's daunting and it's scary and all of those things are so valid, but I would also just urge you to look at how positive and exciting so many things are about moving to a new place. Would you choose a profiterole or an eclair? I think I'd choose a profiterole. They're the same thing, no? Big fat loaded chocolate, hot chocolate sauce dripping down, that'd be lovely. You mentioned changing your shop due to financial changes. Would you talk about that? I kind of think I have. Not only did my financial income situation change, obviously undergoing a project like this, so that changed things. And yeah, I guess don't get me wrong, DB does contribute, but I'm adamant that I pay for this mortgage. And yeah, I guess my ingoings and outgoings have changed significantly, and I'm like currently not in a position to be going to Waitrose and spending that amount of money on my food. Like food shopping, produce, where I get like good quality ingredients from will always be a priority to me. I would rather wear the same clothes. I mean, evidently I think I do, right? I'd rather wear the same clothes forever and spend my money on my food shop and where I get good quality ingredients from than have to go without that but like have the latest trend on my arse every day. Not for me. Yeah, that's kind of how it's changed. Would you or DB ever like a role off stage, such as directing, producing, costumes? I always say that DB would be an incredible producer, and he would love to write for stage, film, TV. That would be his dream, like his actual dream. For me, at this stage in my life, I would say it's not something that I have an initial interest in. Like, for me, performing is just such a joy to me. I don't know if I've thought about alternatives just yet other than that. But who's to say? Who knows? But I think for DB, definitely writing is something that he's already thought of being a possibility for him. How do you deal with burnout? I am also stuck in it. Oh, how do I deal with it? Is I kick and scream about having it for so long until my body gives me no other option. That's how I deal with it. Wouldn't recommend. It's stupid. There is no other option but to click pause. I definitely feel like I'm at burnout. I definitely feel like I'm at capacity, and I definitely feel like I need a break. However, what won't make me feel better in my life is to sit in front of the sofa for a week and veg out. But that might be what works for some people. My way of recharging to the best of my ability that I'm aware of is to remove myself from social media, to remove the option to doom scroll, and to remove like over-consuming stuff. And that's what I know I initially always need, and that's what will happen next week. So I might still edit, I might still film a few bits, I might still feel inspired to do X, Y, Z, but for me next week is about removing all of the really bad habits that I've fallen right head arse into. Head arse? Head over heels? Head over arse first? Whatever. Head first into. There's no arse involved, is there? That's gonna be the way that my week is gonna look. I don't think that 1 week will completely remove burnout, but again, I feel like that's what I need right now, and that's what I'm capable of giving myself. Some people are better at it than I am. The other thing to avoid burnout is to probably put in more regular breaks, however that break looks for you, without getting to breaking point. Quite simple, quite smart. Should learn. What are your favorite smells? This is such a good question. Also a question I don't think I've been asked before. A clean house. I know that sounds silly, but like, you know when a house is clean. Fresh washing that's been specifically hung on the line outside on a sunny day. Fresh bedding. I love smells that remind me of stuff. Shelbs and I have a smell together, and it's anything tuberose, because when I first moved down to Portland and was having a big fat breakdown, I had a diptyque tuberose candle, and we used to light it of an evening when we'd be chilling upstairs in like our bedrooms are obviously right next door to each other, and having that tuberose scent will always remind me of Shelbs. Nostalgic smells. So when we were kids and we used to go in between like my mum and dad's, my mum always used to wear Chanel No. 5, and she would spray my teddy with that scent, because then like if we missed mum or whatever, we could just smell it and it would remind us of her, which is mega cute. Outdoors, like in a woods, you know, that really crisp fresh air smell. God, I have so many favorite smells. I'm big on smells actually. Fresh coffee. Sorry, just for a bit of reality, can you see those mold bubbles on there? About a glass I forgot about in the fucking office the other day. Guys, how beautiful are these hydrangeas? I pulled them out from the garden. I'm very thrilled with them. I'm gonna clean the kitchen. I'm gonna start on this biking, because biking is good for me. What's the plan for the garage office conversion, practically and Pinteresty? The plan is on hold, logistical, financial reasons, and the plan would have been purely practical reasons. I wouldn't have been able to afford the Pinterest version of the conversion. Well, my fucking poet. But I promise to keep you updated and take you along the way with that. What's left on the snag list that the first builders didn't finish? Never got off with that, and everything's on the list. How do you and DB balance working different types of job schedules? At the moment, I would say we're so lucky, because DB works from home and he just goes into the office, clicks on, puts his headset on, and he's there. And I obviously work from home. So not only do we get to spend a lot of time together, but I also have that luxury of like, if I do go to London, he's here with the dogs. I haven't got to worry too much about that. And when it comes to helping with filming, and working from home definitely comes with the luxury of being able to keep on top of the house, I think, in a way that, well, does it? That then also needs to be balanced by the fact that you're probably using the house more. I often wonder, like, how nice would it be to, like, you clean up at night before you go to work the next day and you come back that night to the house as you left it. Whereas when you're working from home, although yes, it is a luxury that, like, in your lunch break you can whack a wash on and put it on, you then also have to think about how much more you're using the house, so you're probably making more mess anyway. I wouldn't change that. I absolutely love working from home, and I love that he is too. So at the moment it works great, and I probably would want it to be more like this than not, if I had the choice, like if I could click my fingers. What is DB's day job? Do you have goals for the rest of 2025? My faves. DB's day job, he works for EE, he's on tech support. So when you call up with a problem, he is the person that you, if you're lucky enough, speak to. As you can imagine, he is incredible on the phones, like talking to people, and his manner with someone who's like screaming down the phone at him to then asking him to go for a coffee is something I admire, because could not be me. Again, if you didn't know, he's not long graduated, and he took a degree in creative writing and teaching English as a second language. So he would much rather put his skills to work than what he's doing. With that being said, E has been like such an incredible job just to like get him by. If you could do any reality TV show, which one would it be for fun and to push yourself? Honestly, for your entertainment, I think I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here would be phenomenal, but I'm not a celebrity. I don't class myself as a celebrity. And if I was to compare myself to like the YouTubers and creators that have been on there, I don't think I have enough of a status. But considering I am clean petrified of rats and mice and snakes, it would be funny. I mean, I don't think it classes, but Strictly is the absolute dream in life. Don't think it's reality TV though. Gonna be making a bacon and lettuce tomato toasted sandwich, and it's going to be outstanding. Firstly, hope you're okay. I'm A-okay, love. Thank you for asking. Secondly, thoughts on French tips on toes? Not for me. Mainly because I just don't think it lasts that long. You know, like the tip grows out. Nah, not for me. Where to start with building a wardrobe, feeling confident in clothes? You definitely want to find people and follow people with a similar body shape to yours. This is something I actually really struggled with, and I don't think I've found, but you can find someone with like parts of your body, so bigger bust or wider hips. So that's the first thing I would do. The second thing is you need to eliminate what the clothes number says, and you need to invest in core basics. And by that I mean, I don't mean you have to go and buy them fresh from the shop, like you can go on Vinted or whatever, but I definitely would recommend you try on first. So get yourself a really good quality pair of jeans and think about how many times and for how many occasions you can wear that piece. So for me, with building my wardrobe, the biggest thing I've done is sort out some jeans. It's been sorting out jeans, sorting out good underwear. Like, I'm really trying to build myself from the ground up. This mayo is on its last motherfucking leg here. And then when you find your basics, get them in every colour. Yeah, like my Uniqlo tops I found, I'm obsessed with them. Jeans, good basics underwear, a really good fitting t-shirt in black and white, a really good black blazer. And then when you've got your basics, you can start going a bit wild with your other bits. Someone said, did your food noise affect how comfortable you felt being physically intimate? I'm confused by this question, but what I'm wondering is if that means like confidence. And if so, then yeah, I feel like your confidence will always affect how you feel with regards to being intimate, but that doesn't have any bearing on what your size is, because people feel confident no matter what size they are, or people can feel confident no matter what size they are. 2 questions left that I'm gonna answer. Oh no, 1. Have you got a 5-year plan? No, I don't have a 5-year plan, but I definitely have like, I wouldn't say I have a 5-year plan, but I would say that there's like a mental note on, because I've decided that I do want children. Unsure if you guys have been updated on that, but I think I do. I think there's this sort of like mental note of how and when, but the 5-year plan thing is something that I no longer do, and I'm happy about it. I feel like we can just get so caught up in the 5-year plans We ain't even promised tomorrow, babes, do you know what I mean? So for this sandwich, we have this gorgeous white loaf from the farm shop that I've actually lightly toasted. Not even lightly, I've just toasted it and I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit. Really crispy bacon, essential. Really gorgeous thin slices of heirloom tomatoes. And then crunchy romaine lettuce and a little mustard mayo. And I'm gonna butter the bread too. Okay, last two questions are juicy. If and when you and DB decide to start a family, would you stay in this house or move? It depends. This house has endless potential. Just gonna butter one side, I think. But with endless potential equates to endless money. I think it would depend on how worth it would be, how worth it / possible it would be to put the money into this property to make it family child friendly against moving into a property better suited to a family. With the garage conversion done, we would definitely be able to have a baby here for like up to 2 years for sure. And the area is gorgeous and it's the sort of place that you would be so happy to raise your children in. So there's that to consider too. But honestly, I think it depends. I feel like you need a good amount of mustard mayo. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons. This is obviously inspired by Remy, who's my new hyperfixation YouTuber. She made a BLT on one of her last vlogs, and it made me want a BLT. But there are so many factors to a good sandwich, you know, and the right amount of mayonnaise distributed evenly is one of them. Does DB having kids already impact your joint decision? Sorry if too personal, just curious. The answer is yes, it does. Of course it does. It impacts his decision, it impacts my decision, and it impacts our joint decision. I guess also it's kind of like a difficult topic to try and, because there is like 2 of us in the relationship, I can't speak too much about his reasons because I don't know how much he'd be happy to share. But I will say that yes, definitely it does impact his decision. In my previous relationship, my partner also had a daughter, and even just having one daughter from a different family setup impacted my like outlook on having children with him. It's definitely, again, rooted in this like shame, and at the time, my guys, don't come for me for fingers, all right? Like when I'm cooking for myself and him and DB, there's hygiene changes. I'm keeping you updated on the sandwich as we go, right? 1 piece of toast with the mustard mayo, 1 piece of toast with the butter and the crispy bacon. Then next we're gonna go in with the tomatoes. That definitely came from the desire for me to have this like picture perfect life. So in my head, there were so many like really weird, irrational things that I used to panic about. Like I used to really worry about what if his daughter had children young before we'd had children, would that then impact like the age in which he'd be a grandfather in comparison to a dad, which is kind of whack thinking, but that's just me being totally honest. Like that's just one of the many things that I used to think of. And now obviously like I am a totally different person, and my idea of perfection has been completely obliterated in the best way possible. In terms of visualizing what a family setup looks like, it is very different. Weirdly enough, coming from such a blended family myself, it's so weird that I ever had those kind of worries. So yeah, DB having children definitely impacts that in a different way. I've just sprinkled some sea salt on the tomatoes, and now I'm layering on the lettuce, the crunchy lettuce. So yeah, it like in a whole nother way, that impacts my decision to have children with him. So yeah, it does really impact my decision to have children with him. But when I think about, like, one of the ways that I'm working through it is when I think about what I want for my children and the life I want for them, he could give them, well, with the man that I'm with now and the man that I know now, I believe that he could give them the most incredible childhood. When I think about having children, I don't think about sending them to private school and making sure they have like all of the latest designer clothes or anything like that. I think about a child having the safety in a relationship with his or her father and mother, in that they can have a problem or they can feel an emotion and they can come home and they can sit around the table and grow up in like a fun, happy, loving, filled with laughter home. And that ultimately is like the number one most important thing that I want for my children. So when I think about that, it's like a no-brainer, but it's all the other things that are kind of clouding my judgment and decision making on that, if that makes sense. I think I got a bit choked then, a bit weird, whatever. We all know I'm an emotional girl now. Right, let's check the cross section of this sandwich. My nan always taught me to cut a sandwich with a bread knife because then you don't squash the sandwich. Oh, fucking hell. Have you ever seen a cross section like that? Let me open up a cafe. It's called Sasha's Cafe. You can get sandwiches, you can get matcha, you can get iced coffees, and you can chat shit. In fact, that's what I'm gonna call my cafe, chat shit. Okay. Cheers. I feel like I need to go. Honestly, it's really perfect. I'm not just saying that because I made a sandwich yesterday and it wasn't perfect, but this is faultless. Oh my God.
Hello.
I'm literally just about to sign the video off, but you need to come and take a bite into this and tell me what you think.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, you're sweaty.
Yeah, I am so sweaty.
Do you want to wash your hands?
Yeah, I do.
Show everyone your guns. How good is that?
Oh, so good.
Guys, I can't. Thank you so much for all your questions. I really hope you enjoyed this style of video. Let me know if you did, because for me, the little undiagnosed spicy girl that I am, I think I enjoy doing stuff whilst having the company, and I feel like you're all in the room with me. Like, comment down below, all of the usual that you do, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
Bye.